Hello, Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Welcome to my channel. We are going to take a look at your love life. I'm going to take a look at what situation I'm picking up on today, who's in your energy, and where is it headed? Where's it going? All right, plus stick around to the end. I will look at their hidden truth. Plus, I will also get some Aries through Pisces and a yes/no bonus question for you. All right, so you are getting the lovely divine timing, not yet. Trust the process, alignment. Now, I'm doing weekly readings here. So this isn't like divine timing and you sit back and you're like, oh, that means, years, whatever. We're looking at it, we're kind of bringing it back down here, back home here, right? This week, right? Maybe you're feeling urgent to reach out to somebody. Maybe you're wanting the answers. Maybe you're anxious about a situation that you're dealing with. And when you get into that place of, I need something to happen, I need something to be validated, I need to feel a certain way, I need to know what their answer is, I want. Those energies are going to be cues that if you push too hard at something, you may get backlash. All right. Or you may get the result that you're not looking for. So that's what that means this week when it comes to love. It's, don't watch the clock. All right. Not watching the clock. Now I'm seeing the challenge here is things falling apart. Now this has been coming through the last couple of days for me, collectively on this channel and in all signs. And there's a tower. There seems to be a breakdown happening right now, and it's going to show up differently for each and every one of you when it comes to towers. If we were doing a year-long reading, a tower, I would be like, hey, you got some big moment coming up this year, watch, for some change that's going to change your life. But when we're looking at it as a weekly reading, things falling apart, it's one of those energies that can be within where you feel so unstable and uncertain of a relationship or how somebody feels about you. You may even feel like a relationship is ending, or, it's been so long since they've talked to you, or you guys have been separated, or, and you're feeling like it's ending, it's over. And yes, something is ending, something is over. It's psychological. All right. It's something, it's not quitting right now. I just heard an amazing astrologer talking about this. Like, this isn't a moment this week when you feel like quitting or giving up, because the energies are going to be strong right now, especially with love. And, so if you're breaking up with somebody, or you've had an argument with somebody, or you have a lot of tension and animosity or anger, frustration, or just restlessness this week, if you push too hard, too fast, too soon, a tower card can happen, and we can knock down something, and something worse can come of it than we thought, right? So a tower card says things are uncertain right now in your love life, but it doesn't mean it's over. The tower is built on a foundation, except everything that was built upon it was sometimes built upon lies, uncertainties. We kept growing the relationship without knowing where things were going. We kept investing in somebody and not ever knowing really how they felt about us. But we kept going, and we're in this story, this relationship. This is what it is. We've defined it. But inside, emotionally, we don't feel stable. And that's what's happening here is the lies, the illusion, the uncertainties of a situation that you're dealing with is being revealed to you right now. And what's not working is just falling apart. And so it's going to feel like you are losing things or losing someone, right? But the beautiful thing here is the rebuild part of the tower card, which you'll rebuild confidence after this happens, right? When you realize that, yeah, something had to change, something had to shift, and I didn't like it. Maybe we had to have this argument or this confrontation, or somebody even a person you're dealing with could be dealing with a tower in their life. They just lost their job, or they just came out of a relationship, or maybe they have home issues, and they just feel unstable, and that's what's why they're hesitant to reach out to you. Some people don't want to bring other people into their problems, into their life, while they're going through something. So this is where this week, that word patience, if you're waiting for somebody or wondering what somebody's up to, this is one of these where I wouldn't take it personal and automatically think it's got to be something you did or can do or can fix. So let's take a look at your expect changes here at the bottom of the deck, which I love. So it feels like Spirit just wanted you to know. Expect changes this week, but the beauty of this is things are coming into alignment. And when you have this temperance energy, divine energy, right? If something hasn't been working, if somebody hasn't been fulfilling, their side of the contract, right? This is where something has to give so that it does come into alignment, because we're ultimately seeking equal give and take in a relationship, a healthy boundary, and we see alignment. So things are actually coming into alignment for you when it comes to love. Now let's see, and this is very important, because during these tower moments, and when somebody is feeling uneasy or uncertain in their life, that's when we reach for the people that mean the most to us. We get caught up in our own lives. We get caught up in our ego. We make decisions. And the next thing you know, we think everything's smooth in our life. Then something hits us out of nowhere. And this feels like your person. Something may hit them out of nowhere, this tower. And then all of a sudden, where's all the people that supposedly are on their side? Who's the one that cared for them? Who's the one that comes to their mind when they're in a crisis? You. Right? If this is where I'm feeling pulled today in this reading. It's like, this is how you learn how somebody really, or where you stand with somebody. And then they have an awakening and they're like, wait, maybe I wasn't being real. Now I can see where I wasn't, being consistent with you, or where I screwed up, or, what this relationship really means to me. Right? It's experience. Sometimes we have to walk through the fire to wake up. And that's just it. Walk through the fire to wake up. So let's take a look at your person, their biggest challenge, how they view you, them, and your biggest challenge right now. All right, taking a break just to hang out. I love it. We have the Devil and energy showing up for you as well too. So Capricorn energy. This is a card of attachment. This is a card of obsession, right? And we all have a shadow side. We all have, these, we got to have it. We have a desire. We want something. We want it now. And when we come from a place of desire and wanting and needing something so badly, just so we feel better, or we don't want to deal with the uncomfortable feelings that are coming up, we tend to react from this place and this attachment, this fear. And so what happens is we manifest exactly what we don't want, because our fears and our desires are taking control. So this is where learning to decipher between, is this a fear? Is this, where do I have to step back so I don't push the boundaries, or I don't overreact and regret it later, kick myself in the ass later. You have the Sun card underneath here. So we are seeing a rebirth here. We're seeing a renewal, and we're seeing growth and vitality. So it feels like this week you have a lot of major arcana showing up for you, which tells me that Spirit's really behind this. There's really not, your job is to focus on what's coming up for you and working through this energy of insecurities or attachment that you have to somebody. All right. Because that's the growth. And this is trust, the Sun card, right? Somebody here may be realizing how much they really want you, how much they desire you, because there is a strong attachment between you and another person, right? And you guys are triggering each other. And that's why we're seeing a Tower card too. Right, a lot of triggering, a lot of push-pull here. So Leo energy, Capricorn energy. All right. And I see your person, 4 swords. All right. What's their biggest challenge right now? I see the 10 of Wands. Your person's ready to just give up, and they're quiet. So if your person's silent on you right now, if they've gone, or you guys are in no contact, you've gone through some sort of breakup, right? This is where they may be trying to ignore it because the weight is on them. The 10 of Wands to me is also another version of a Tower card. It's like sometimes we do it to ourselves though. We saw it coming, we knew, we tried so hard to do everything ourselves to make it stay, to make it work, and then nothing we did, nothing we do, even all the hard work we put into something worked. And your person may be feeling that way, like no matter what I did or what I do, it just seems like I'm not getting anywhere. So your person may be somebody that tries to do everything themselves and not let anybody else know what they're up to. They don't want to take assistance from anybody, and they may have a lot of pressure on them from other people in their life, or even work, job responsibilities. But to me, it feels like they're trying to ignore it. They're silent with you. They don't want to draw you into it, or they don't, or they're taking a break from the situation with you because things have gotten too heavy, right? So the Four of Swords is telling me where they're at. You may be thinking they're ignoring you and they're silent and they're not thinking about you, but you can see in these cards right here that this is somebody that doesn't know what to do except climb underneath the blankies and hide from the world. But this is where things start to come together. Things start to click when we go into this meditative state. We can't run from our problems, right? So we go, we rest, we recoup, we reset, we find ourselves again, we heal a little bit. Obviously, this is somebody here that has been undergoing a lot of pain, a lot of stress. And even if you guys are separated, right? If this is the case with you, this isn't easy for them either. This isn't easy. So it obviously is not easy for you not knowing what's going on with them, especially if they've been quiet. And this is where the quiet, that high priestess, the spirit is saying, Virgo, trust that I'm working on you. I'm working on your person. I'm working on the situation, because the major arcana is the divine working on something that maybe you're even unaware of the depth or what's really happening behind the scenes, but there's always some sort of evolution. Now, how do they view you? The Chariot card. How do you view them and the challenge you have with them? I see the Emperor card. You see this person. Okay, I can see women, the challenge, the Four of Wands. So Virgo, this person acts very confident, acts really cool, collected. You have this Aries energy, a very independent. Aries don't always tell you what's going on, right? They take care of stuff themselves. But the thing is with this Aries energy, this Emperor energy, somebody may feel like, I don't want to lose control in front of you. Maybe I want to rebuild with you. The Emperor card is always about rebuilding, right? We need to build a firm foundation, a structure. I see a very responsible person. You see them like this too. But because you see them as somebody who seems so confident, calm, cool, and collected, you're not seeing how much this is really bothering them or what's weighing on them. Now, if this is a father, a business owner, or somebody that is just trying to build their life, or even if they're getting out of a marriage, because this can be too, things falling apart, the Tower, they could be losing control of their home, their job, leaving a situation. You seem to look at them like the Emperor, like, oh, you got this, you can make this work. But they're good at hiding how difficult their life has been or what's going on behind the scenes. And they're also good at making you think that everything is fine, especially if they're being quiet with you, but that is not the case. Now they view you, the Chariot card, all right? So very driven, very focused, and that's a really awesome card. You guys both feel connected to one another. You both have respect for one another. The way I see you guys viewing each other, it's like anything. That's why this Tower card could really feel uncomfortable for you, because you may not have expected them to pull back their energy, or you may not have expected for things to, maybe all of a sudden everything was going great, and then next thing you know, things took a turn and you're like, what the hell happened, right? I didn't expect that. They seem very responsible. Why did they act out of alignment? Why did they pull their energy from me? It doesn't seem like them. And so they see you as the Chariot card, somebody who's very persistent, somebody with a lot of willpower, somebody who's really fast and just wants to get through and fix shit. And that's my Virgos, right? Let's go, let's do this. And they feel a strong pull to you. So it's like somewhere, whether you guys, it's unspoken, that you guys know that we will pull through this obstacle, right? Because the challenge you have is you're wanting this person to be home. You're wanting this person to be back with you. You're wanting this person to be committed to you. Or for some of you, you're just wanting to take the next step with somebody, this Four of Wands, but you're feeling a break in the commitment. It doesn't feel happy. It doesn't feel like you're satisfied, but it also doesn't feel like either one of you is satisfied. It feels like this is somebody that loves or wanted to see or can see a future with you. This is marriage energy right here. This is, we could build something together. But the challenge is you're in this Three of Wands energy, with the challenge being the Four of Wands. That takes me back a step. So I look at it as, okay, you're in the Three of Wands, right? And the Three of Wands can seem like a waiting period. Like you've been sitting there, you know, you've done everything you could do. You've said, you plead your case. You're getting tired of waiting. You're wanting things to change. You're ready to move to the next step, and you feel like you just have no control over it. And right now you really don't. All right, something is shifting behind the scenes for you, for your person. All right. Now the good news, the Ten of Wands and the Tower card isn't ending. So whatever it is that they are going through, or whatever you guys are going through, that part of this process is over. But it's the acceptance and the fear of thinking that it's legitimately over between the two of you, and that it could never form anything else, or that you think it's over for good. That's the part I think that you're being asked to look at it from a different perspective. The situation that you guys were dealing with was not comfortable, was not healthy, or was not working for one or both of you. And that had to end. And so whatever kind of situation you were finding yourself in, whether there was outside influences, those things are being cleared up right now. So if the two of you really do, the Chariot and the Emperor, feel this pull together, and they are realizing it's clicking what they need to do next in order to make this happen. But this is where this week, the Four of Swords and the Ten of Wands, it's got to weigh on them. They've got to go through this process of understanding what they could be losing, or dealing with one crisis at a time. And that could just simply be it. I can only handle one crisis at a time, Virgo. You got to give me a minute. So I am seeing Cancer. I'm seeing Aries. And let's look at Aries through Pisces. I'll see any potential actions for them this week, but I'll also get a hidden truth here from you and get an oracle about what Spirit thinks you should do, or any other advice from... All right, Aries through Pisces. Show me the energy, that they're in this week, Aries through Pisces. And we're looking at any potential movement from them, okay? Because some of you guys are talking to your person, and it's just you're having a little glitch. I got the Judgment card here as well, too. So we do see ultimately somebody trying to figure out how to do something differently. Something's got to happen. And this is pretty big for your person. The Judgment is, the decision I make this week is going to change my life and your life if we're together. So if I'm making this decision, this is very important to us. We need to trust the process in this, because if this is the two of you going through some sort of separation, this is the Judgment day. Can this work? Are we going to make this work? So, and if it's somebody else going through a Tower card, this is kind of difficult for them. You can see their energy because their life is changing. It's changing behind the scenes. Now, Aries, I see the Nine of Wands, right? So you have strong Aries showing up for you, Virgo. Aries is a trooper, right? Aries is a warrior, and Aries is very confident, but you can see that they're worn out. They're tired. Something has to change. Something has to give. So we're seeing a setback with an Aries. So you may still feel, because remember, their energy is the Four of Swords. You may still feel like your Aries is being quiet. They may not want to add any more drama, right? Bottom line, that's just it. I just don't have the strength. I'm too tired of this right now. Taurus, I see the Six of Pentacles. So Taurus is going to maybe show up this week, putting more effort in, right? Trying to make it fair, trying to talk to you, trying to connect with you. There's a very strong friendship vibe here. I really respect and care about you. But we've got to decide what the plan is here. So you could be making plans with a Taurus this week. Gemini, I see Three of Swords. So we see still here Gemini trying to heal. The heartbreak is still there. The wound is still fresh, or, they're going through some sort of sadness or disappointment, right? And they're just needing some space. Cancer, the moon card, all right, things are still a little bit, I always say wait 24 hours, all right? If things are too uncertain, don't make a decision, a rational decision with a Cancer, because what you think to be true when a moon card shows up says you might be reading into your fears. You might be looking at something and it's a shadow on the wall, but it's not what you think. So it's hard to see the truth when the moon card comes up, and you really have to trust that things are unfolding. So this is not reacting emotionally this week, because things are sort of still kind of foggy and up in the air with you and a Cancer. Leo, I see Ten of Swords. So Leo could be going through a separation, something really, painful, right? It could even be just waking up to some decisions they made that really hurt them, right? Or you guys have gone through a separation and it's really hurting them still, because the Ten of Swords and the Tower card is also like, we saw this coming, but we tried to avoid it, and here it is. So I do see an ending here happening with a Leo, whether, it's we still need time. It's too soon. Things are just ending. Virgo, Knight of Swords. So Virgo turning things around. I see communication, Virgo, with another Virgo, but also you have the Knight of Swords. So watch your assumptions this week about the situations that you're in. That's really all this is saying is, you are assuming maybe one thing, and you may react from that place, which is the devil, the fears, and you may come in defensive. You may argue with somebody, and you may realize that, we're causing grief or an argument where it's not necessary. But also here it shows you also figuring out what the purpose of a relationship is and where this is going. So you and another Virgo having a conversation about the direction of the relationship. And I see Libra. There's the Three of Wands with your Libra. All right. So the Three of Wands, you've been waiting, you're wondering. What I have to say with this is Libra's waiting and wanting the same thing. All right. If you feel like you guys have done everything you can possibly do and there's nothing more you can do with the Libra, this is ultimately trusting that it's coming around for you. You've done the work. There's not much more you can do except, really just focus on where things are headed, focusing on, cliche, the positive. But it does look like growth and progress is happening with you and a Libra. Scorpio, Page of Swords. So conversation with a Scorpio this week. It looks like you guys are, opening up to one another, talking to one another. Communication is going well. Maybe we'll discuss things, or maybe we're keeping conversation light just so that you know where we stand, right? But I do see messages coming in with a Scorpio. Sag, I see the Star card. So with the Sagittarius, this makes sense here now. So Sagittarius is showing that it might be too soon with the Tower going on, but ultimately you both desire the same thing. So everything is happening because you both want the same thing. All right, so let that land, because that can mean something different for each and every one of you. Capricorn, I see the King of Swords. So Capricorn may be being distant, but they're being responsible. They're trying to do what feels right for the situation. They may be acting cold and distant, but they're trying to keep their emotions at bay. Aquarius, I have the Tower card. So you and an Aquarius could, it looks like they're dealing with some crisis, or maybe there's a something coming up this week with you and an Aquarius, and it just feels like, unstable, and you feel like things are uncertain. This could be, this everything I was saying here. We see Aquarius here, a Tower moment, right? But the truth is being revealed with your Aquarius. And Pisces, I see the World card, right? So you and Pisces finally figuring out, obviously something could be completing itself. The World card is the actual ending of a cycle, and it's time for something new. So it's one of these moments for Pisces where maybe you feel a little bit uncertain for the moment, but it's because something is shifting, something is changing, and we're seeing this new start, new beginning. All right, so if you're still with me, let me get an oracle, the hidden truth from them, any messages Spirit has for you, and I'll do a yes, no bonus question. All right, let's see. All right, what does Spirit want you to know, Virgo? My amazing Virgos. All right, slow and steady foundation and patience. You know, I mean, the major, the things we don't like to hear. But you already have the foundation, right, of a situation. And so you are being asked to just be the mountain, be the rock for yourself, stability here. And I'm seeing weather the storms, let it change you and embrace the unexpected. If there was one thing I would say about this whole reading, that's what it feels like. Let this uncertainty, let this tower, let this separation, or let this, situation with your person just be, and let it show you sides of yourself that you didn't realize you had. But also let it prove to you that what you think sometimes is happening might not be what you really think, and so expect the unexpected. All right, so any hidden truth with your person? Let's get some hidden truths with your person. This may or may not resonate with all you guys, so only, trust your intuition. Trust. Any hidden messages with your person? All right, let's see. I don't want to let you go. All right. I fantasize about you. There's that devil card too. So there is a strong addiction, attachment, desire. You both have. All right. And I need to focus on my healing. This is a Four of Swords energy too. So if somebody is giving you space and it's really hard for you, it's one of these things where this is where life sucks. We got to deal with our own problems, our own emotions. And another person is doing that. They're focusing on how they're feeling, how they're healing. And it might, feel selfish if you're feeling like, I miss you, I want to know. And somebody's thinking the same thing. So, not trying to push at something. If somebody's backing up from you this week is my advice, because it could backfire. All right, I love you guys. Wait a minute, I got one more yes or no bonus for you. Think of your question, yes or no. And definitely check out Otter Spirit. I'm wearing the bracelets right now. These are for Valentine's Day, guys. I also have Valentine's candles right there. If you hit that quick QR code that I make. And these boxes right here. All right. Your question on your mind, Virgo. I have a yes. Now let me give you an additional message. I see a water sign. I see Pisces. I also see Libra energy, right? I mean, that's Neptune. I see Libra. So some of you, there's a time to process emotions. And this is the Queen of Cups. Emotions may be running high this week. Uncertainties may be running high. And it's easy to want to believe in our feelings and comfort our feelings. But sometimes it's those feelings are just our fears, right? Somebody may be processing their emotions right now and just needing a little bit more time and understanding while they're going through something. And this is also a reminder for yourself too. Give yourself that space, that place to process your emotions too. It's nurturing oneself. I love you guys, and I will see you. I'm going to be doing Libra and Scorpio today. Oh, I love it. Thank you. The Libra candle was one of that sold out the quickest, my Libra candle. My Summoning Soulmates candles are just freaking amazing. I know I'm being a little biased here, but I really do love them. We color the boxes too for the Valentine's Day ones. This is my winter solstice one still. I had this one I didn't finish burning, so I burned that one there. But I love you guys, and I will see you soon. Thanks for being here and hanging out with me.